Hello everyone, I am Anuradha Sharma. I am your maths mentor. Today, in this session, we are going to learn continuity and differentiability. The weightage of this chapter in ISC board exam is 4 marks. If you don't know exact definition of continuity, I would recall the dictionary meaning of word continuity. You would be able to understand that which out of these four graphs which is actually continuous. As illustrated by all these, the first one, it was running quite smooth until it had this loop in the middle. Second one graph. In second one is completely disjoint because it has break or jump at axis A. So that's why this is a discontinuous function at the point A. Look the third one graph. In the third one, the graph, it is approaching towards the infinity nearer axis A. So that's why this is a discontinuous function. Look fourth one. In fourth one graph, it happens to be only smooth curve without lifting the pen. So that's why it is a continuous function at x is a. To build upon an idea, the graph has no jump and no break in between. So we can say function is a continuous function at the point A. In short, any curve which you can make without lifting your pen becomes continuous function. Now let us try to dig deep into these graphs and come up exact definition of continuity. If you see the first one graph, you recollect 11th class chapter limit, then you realize this is point A, where the limit exists, but it does not equal to the FA. Limit is exists, it means left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit. Limit is exists and left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit, but it doesn't equal to the FA. So look it in the second graph. If you look in second graph, then you can easily look at it has break or jump at the point A and limit does not exist. So that's why we can say the function is a discontinuous function at the point A. And if you look the third graph, in the third graph, limit does not exist because it is approaches towards the infinity nearer the point A and limit does not exist, it means left hand limit is not equal to the right hand limit and the graph doesn't meet at the point A. So that's why we can say FA is not defined. So this is not a continuous function. Now, if you look the fourth graph, in fourth one graph, without lifting the pen, then it may. So that's why it is a continuous function. And in this graph, we can say left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit and this is equal to the FA. So now we can give the actual definition of the continuity. In the continuity, fx is said to be a continuous function at x is equal to the a if limit x tends to the a minus fx is equal to the limit x tends to the a plus fx is equal to the fa. So we can say the function is a continuous function at x is equal to the a. Limit x tends to the a minus fx, it means left hand limit. So, and limit x tends to the a plus fx, it means right hand limit. In the left hand limit, we have to put the x is equal to the a minus h. And in right hand limit, we have to put x is equal to the a plus h. So if you are putting the x is a minus h in the left hand limit, so we can write limit h tends to the 0 f a minus h. And then if you are putting the x is a plus h in right hand limit, so we can write limit h tends to the 0 f a plus h. Limit x tends to the a minus, it means it is the slightly less than the point A, and x tends to the a plus, it means it is the slightly more than a. So that's why left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit and it is equal to the fa. So we can say function is a continuous function at the point A because limit h tends to the 0 f a minus h is equal to the limit h tends to the 0 f a plus h is also equal to the f a. That's why function is a continuous function at the point A. Now we should be understand the concept of x tends to the a minus. So by x tends to the a minus, we can say that it approaches a from the left on replacing x by a minus h. We observe that x approaches a from the left if h approaches 0. By x tends to the a plus, we mean that we mean that it x approaches a from the right on replacing x by a plus h. We observe that x approaches a from the right if h approaches to the 0. So now we know the meaning of the x approaches to the a minus and x approaches to the a plus. Once again I am repeating this. X approaches to the a minus, it means slightly less than a. It means it is towards the left side. And x approaches to the a plus, it means slightly more than. It means it is approaches from the right side. So that's why if both are equal and it is also equal to the fa, then we can say function is a continuous function at a. So now we can easily solve the question based on it. So we will carry this definition forward and see how to tackle the questions. So look at this question. In this question, it is given. Examine the continuity of the function fx is equal to 2x square minus 1 at x is equal to the 3. So first of all, we have to look the value of the function. Value of the function, it is given 2x square minus 1. So find the value at x is equal to the 3. Find the value of the function at x is equal to the 3. So if you substitute the x is 3, so you will get 2 multiplied with the 3 square minus 1, and after simplifying it you will get the result is 17. So value of the function at the point 3 is equal to the 17. Now we can easily find the right hand limit. Right hand limit, we have to apply the formula. Limit x tends to the 3 plus fx. After applying it, then you have to substitute the value of the function. The value of the function is 2x square minus 1. And then write limit x tends to the 3 plus 2x square minus 1. 3 plus it means then it is approaches to the right. So that's why we have to write the value of the x is equal to the 3 plus h. Substitute the x is 3 plus h. Then we get limit h tends to the 0 to multiply 3 plus h whole square minus 1. And then simplify it. Then you will get this is equal to the 17. So right hand limit is equal to the 17. Similarly, we can solve the left hand limit. In the left hand limit, we have to apply the definitions. So it is limit x tends to the 3 minus fx. 3 minus it means we have to find the left hand limit at the point x is equal to the 3. So put the value of the function. Value of the function is 2x square minus 1. So we can write limit x tends to the 3 minus 2x square minus 1. Now, after writing it, 3 minus, it means it is approaches to the left. So it means put the x is 3 minus h. So replace the x by 3 minus h, then we get limit h tends to the 0, 2 into 3 minus h whole square minus 1. And after simplifying it, then we get the result is 17. So left hand limit is 17 and right hand limit is 17 and value of the function at the point 3 is also 17. So in all the cases we get the result is 17. So therefore we can say limit x tends to the 3 plus fx is equal to the limit x tends to the 3 minus fx is equal to the f3. It means right hand limit is equal to the left hand limit and this is equal to the f3. So function is continuous at x is equal to the 3. Now we can look at this. A function fx may fail to be continuous at x is equal to the a by the following reasons. Now look at the first point. In the first point, f is not defined at x is equal to the a. It means function is not defined at the particular point a. So we can say function does not exist and it will not be a continuous function. In the second point, either limit x tends to the a minus fx does not exist or limit x tends to the a plus fx does not exist. It means left hand limit value it may be infinite and right hand value may be infinite. If the any one is not exist, so we can say function is not a continuous function at the point A. Look at the third point. In the third point, then if limit x tends to the a minus fx is not equal to the limit x tends to the a plus fx, so again we can say function is not continuous at x is equal to the a. But in this limit x tends to the a minus fx is has it has certain value and limit x tends to the a plus fx it also has the certain value and both the values are not equal. It means both the values are not same. So that's why left hand limit is not equal to the right hand limit. And if both the limits are not equal to each other, so again function is a discontinuous function at axis A. Look at the fourth point. In the fourth point, if the limit is axis and it means left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit, but it does not equal to the FA. If it is not equal to the FA, so then function is not a continuous function at the A. So we can also say that then f is said to have removable discontinuity at x is equal to the a. For the removable discontinuity, we have to write the left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit, but it doesn't equal to the fa. If the limit is exists, but its value is not equal to the value of the function at the point a, so that's why we can say it has removable discontinuity at x is equal to the a. So for the removable discontinuity, we can easily understand by this example. Look this example. Show that the function fx is equal to the x sine 1 upon x if x is not equal to the 0. Otherwise, the value of the function is equal to the 1 if x is equal to the 0. Has removable discontinuity at x is equal to the 0. So now we have to look at the function is continuous or not at the point x is 0. So in this we have to prove then function has removable discontinuity at the x is equal to the 0. So it means function should not be continuous at the point is 0. So first of all, put the value of the x is equal to the 0. If you are putting the value x is 0 in the given function, so you can easily locate if x is equal to the 0, then value of the function is becomes 1. So that's why we can write f0 is equal to the 1. Afterwards, we have to find the right hand limit and the left hand limit. Now we get f0 is equal to the 1 and look at then how to find the left hand limit. In the left hand limit, we have to apply the formula limit x tends to the 0 minus fx. And now substitute the value of the fx. We get limit x tends to the 0 minus x into sine 1 upon x. And then after writing it, because it is shows the left hand limit, so 0 minus it shows the left hand limit. So we have to replace the x by 0 minus h and then substitute x is 0 minus h, and afterwards we get limit h tends to the 0, 0 minus h sine 1 upon 0 minus h. Simplify it, we get limit h tends to the 0, h sine 1 upon h. You know very well, then the value of the sine theta, it is more than or equal to the minus 1, but always less than or equal to the 1. So that's why we can say sine 1 upon h shows the certain value. It should be lies in between minus 1 and 1. So h multiplied with the certain value of sine theta. So after applying the value of the limit, we get 0 into certain number lies in between minus 1 to 1, and then their product is because the 0. So that's why the value of the left hand limit is equal to the 0. Now we need to find the right hand limit. So in right hand limit we can write limit x tends to the 0 plus fx and substitute the value of the given function, and after writing it we have to put the x is equal to the 0 plus h. You replace the x by 0 plus h, then we get limit h tends to the 0, 0 plus h sine 1 upon 0 plus h. Limit h tends to the 0, h sine 1 upon h is equal to 0. So again you have to apply the same concept whatever we have already applied in the left hand limit. In the left hand limit we say that sine theta is always more than or equal to the minus 1 but less than or equal to the 1. So after applying this concept in the right hand limit, we get the value of the right hand limit is equal to the 0. Now we have limit, right hand limit is 0, left hand limit is 0. So both are equal. It means limit is exists. But these two values are not equal to the f0 value because f0 is given to the 1. So that's why we can write this step. Limit x tends to the 0 plus fx is equal to the limit x tends to the 0 minus fx, but it doesn't equal to the f0. So if it is not equal to the f0, so that's why function has the removable discontinuity at x is equal to the 0. So we know the definition of the removable discontinuity. It means left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit, but it doesn't equal to the fa. And same thing we can look at in this example also. Limit x tends to the 0 is plus fx is equal to the limit x tends to the 0 minus fx, but it does not equal to the f0. So function has removable discontinuity at x is equal to the 0. Now we can look at this example. Show that the function 2x minus modulus of the x is continuous at x is equal to the 0. Before starting the solution of this question, first of all, we should be know about the modulus of the x. So the definition of the modulus of the x is equal to the minus x when x is less than 0, and it is equal to the x when x is more than or equal to the 0. If we apply this concept in the given function, so we can easily get the value of the function when x is more than 0 and when x is less than the 0. If you are writing the x is more than the 0, so value of the mod of x is equal to the x. It means it shows the positive value. And then you are writing in the given function 2x minus mod of x. Mod x is the positive value of the x. So we get 2x minus x. Simplify this 2x minus x, then we get this is equal to the x. So we can say the value of the function fx is equal to the x when x is more than or equal to the 0. And look it in the modulus case, mod of x is equal to the minus x when x is less than the 0. If we applied this in the given function, so we get 2x minus x. Minus multiply with the minus sign, we get the plus. So the result becomes 2x plus x, and 2x plus x is equal to the 3x when x is less than the 0. So now we get the value of the function. Value of the function fx is x when x is more than or equal to the 0, and value of the function fx is equal to the 3x when x is less than the 0. Now we have to solve this question. Look at the left hand limit at the point x is equal to the 0. Apply the formula. Limit x tends to the 0 minus fx. The fx value you have to write. 0 minus you know very well. It is slightly less than the 0. It means the value of the x should be less than 0. So look at the value in the given function. When x is less than the 0, the value of the function is becomes 3x. So substitute here 3x. After writing it, we have to replace the x by the 0 minus h. So replace here and then simplify it and apply the limit value. Then result becomes the 0. So we can say left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit. Left hand limit is equal to the 0. Now we need to find the value of the right hand limit. Right hand limit at x is equal to the 0. Again apply the definition of the right hand limit. Limit x tends to the 0 plus fx, and now we have to put the value of the fx. So value of the fx, because it is showing the 0 plus, it means slightly more than, so it means the value of the x should be more than 0. So the value of the fx is becomes the x when x is more than or equal to the 0. So write the value of the function in the right hand limit. So we get limit x tends to the 0 plus fx. After writing it, we have to substitute the value of the x is becomes x is equal to the 0 plus h, because it is given in the right hand limit. Right hand limit, it means it is approaches to the 0 from the right side. So that's why we have to write 0 plus h. Substitute the value of the limit, then we get the result is 0 in right hand limit. So now we get the value of the left hand limit and right hand limit. Now we need to find the value of the function at the point is 0. So we can easily locate then f0 is equal to the 0, and because the value of the function of it is equal to the x when x is more than or equal to the 0. If you are putting the value of the x is 0, so that's why we get the value of the function is becomes the 0. So we can write f0 is equal to the 0. After getting it, then we can write left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit, but it is also equal to the f0. Therefore, function is a continuous function at x is equal to the 0. That's it for today. Solve as many questions as you can to brush up the concepts you have learned, and remaining part of this chapter would be continued in next session. Thank you.